Hi, Snoopy here. So, Mars is going retrograde, finally. I'm sure we've already felt the effects of the shadow. That's what happens right before retrograde going on. And it's doing it right in time for the holidays. So, there are a few major things that we should be on the lookout for, all of us, and some sign placements in particular should be on the lookout for. And I'm just going to go over them briefly here. Just ways that we can sort of weather this retrograde. So, one of the things that I would say to be on the lookout for are accidents and injuries. So, Mars is the significator of accidents and unexpected events of all kind. It's happening at the same time as Mercury is also retrograde, so we've already been dealing with communication errors. I would be on the lookout for everything from burns, which Mars specifically talks about, and scrapes, as well as like stabs. And I know that that sounds weird to say stabs, but stabs. So anything that you typically use, even if you use it all the time, that is very hot. So like pulling the cookies out of the oven, just be more careful, be more mindful about it, think about it with more delicacy and care than usual because Mars is retrograde. A point here, retrograde planets are a supercharged planet. They're not weak at all. So that Mars energy is coming through very strong. So also as it pertains to scrapes and things like that, whether it's a knife or whether it's just a really sharp piece of plastic, I would say to just handle things with more care because it is more likely that even though it's never happened to you before, you will get that scrape or you will get that cut. A second thing is our homes. So Mars represents property, especially property that is fixed and in the ground. So that is our home. It's also going into Cancer, so that is doubly our home. Whether we need to move things around in our home, feeling like the space is not quite correct in our home, or a lot of these failed plans or needing to be redone plans happening inside of our homes or inside of our sanctuary, wherever we feel like that is, that's going to be more likely as well. Yay, just in time for the holidays. Another thing, Mars obviously represents battles of all kinds. So right now, people are definitely going to feel as though their self-preservation is going to have to come at the cost of maybe your self-preservation. So just know that people are probably going to be more in that mindset and in that mode right now because with Mars going retrograde in Leo as well as in Cancer, people might even come to blows. So if Thanksgiving wasn't really terrible and it was rather tame, I wouldn't expect it to be the exact same at Christmas. So take that into account when you're choosing your travel plans. And the emotional aspect. When Mars goes retrograde, there is a lot of emotional turbulence, especially for certain signs, but really for everyone, because Mars is, again, our willpower, how we feel like we are going to get what we need to survive. When Mars goes retrograde, we feel like we're definitely not getting that, or something might be in the way of that or being an obstacle. So depression is really, really likely during this time, during a Mars retrograde. So I would say for both outward, people maybe wanting to fight you, or inward, feeling really depressed, maybe even manic depression can pop up too for those of us more energetically inclined. Give yourself the space and time that you need, right? Don't try not to take things super personally, and I know that that's easier said than done. And then also give yourself the time to cool off, to walk away, to feel the emotion fully, go through it. Maybe if it's coming to blows, don't go through it right with the other person, but do that so that the Mars doesn't internalize and lead to depression. Our home, our family, our sanctuary, our direct romantic interests, or else our interests that we're putting a lot of time and dedication into, and our community. All of these things are being affected by this Mars retrograde. So, right, a lot of cross purposes, clash of wills, injuries, accidents, and of course the misunderstandings and miscommunication that's already going on. So just expect a lot of that. Give people and yourself grace. Give everything and everyone the benefit of the doubt, and just Be more forgiving of yourself. This is the perfect time of year to be more gracious, graceful, and grateful. So I didn't know all of those were going to start with G. So signs that are going to be the most affected by this are going to be, of course, Aries and Scorpio major placements. So that's Sun, Moon, Ascendant, of course. But I would also throw the Marses in there because the Lord of that Mars is going retrograde. Then I would say Leo and Cancer because that is where the Mars is transiting. And then pretty much throughout the Mars transit, it's going to be almost all of the fixed signs. Anticipate more of these accidents or rancor or all of the effects of the Mars retrograde happening to you. All right. So just be on the lookout for that. Be aware. And with that in mind, still try to have a happy holiday season full of harmony, grace, and joy.